Hi Leo, welcome to your March 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. Let me just shuffle and then I'm going to just go like this. I haven't done that in a while. Just to get make sure that I'm getting other cards, because sometimes it seem like I'm picking the same cards. Not all of them obviously, but it's just... Okay. The heart of the matter is the Moon card, which astrologically connects to Pisces. And it has this, I always have to say that in astrology, the Moon rules Cancer. So I would also include that, but it is supposed to be connected to Pisces specifically, and some of the key words really do relate to it because of that Neptunian influence. Deception, or a nice way of saying deception is maybe withholding certain types of information, like you don't have the full story about something. It could be confusion, it could be lying to yourself. So delusional thinking, or the Moon can be creativity. It doesn't have to be something bad. It can be just the intuition. And when it comes to things like secrets, the intuition really makes us think like, I know there's something going on. It's funny, that song came into my head yesterday, and it's funny that I'm thinking about it. But let me just keep going and we'll see what else. So in the past position, or what's informing this situation is represented by the Moon, by the Ace of Cups, which is, it can be a new relationship that has recently started. I do get that feeling. So perhaps there is this new relationship, but you're not quite sure if it's something legit. Let's just put it that way. And, also, this can be some offer of love, but even like a job offer that's coming from this place of one from the heart, and the beginning of something that has a heart-centered approach. So obviously it depends on the individual, like what this means to you. And the higher message is the Emperor. The Ace of Cups could be news of a pregnancy, and this could be like, as the spiritual message, the father, the conflict could be that the person that is the father of the child is kind of a control freak, or is somebody who is not really the kind of person that you necessarily want to start a family with. The Emperor is connected to Aries. And basically, as the heart of the matter with the Moon card, the emotions may be front and center in your life right now, and you're very emotional. You may be very happy, but very confused, and you don't quite know what to do about a situation. And I say that because what crosses you is the Two of Swords. So this could be like at a crossroads, but the person is blindfolded, and it's like they're refusing to see the situation in its totality. And so this can indicate that perhaps you are in need of more clarity, and perhaps you don't have that. And one thing is, like, I will say too, if this is a new relationship and you're starting to see like red flags, like the person is controlling, then I think that the Emperor, as a spiritual message, is saying, you know, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. That was actually, I just heard that quote again the other day, and I didn't know that Maya Angelou said it. And it really is, it really makes a lot of sense to me, because when people look back on a relationship that ends up not being good, a lot of times they can go, oh yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I understand that this was not going to end well with this person? I should have known right away that they were very controlling, and that they always, you know, that they were trying to tell me what to do, you know, pretty much from the start of the relationship. And one thing to note too with the Emperor, even though I'm reading this as a spiritual message, the spiritual message can be, like I just said, you know, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. The moon doesn't want to believe anything that is contradictory to its fantasy. So the person can hold fast to a very negative situation with the desire to kind of have it be the way that they want it to be, even though that's just not the case. And the Emperor, what I was trying to say too, is that sometimes this can be a person who is, I was going to say in the Marines, or like a soldier, not to disparage somebody in the military, but, or like a police officer or a cop. But not, it's not to say, oh, those are bad people, of course not, but to say that they might be people who are very cut and dried. It's like, this is how life is, this is how you should live life. And they want to, you know, they can be authoritarian, where they want the controlling. That's what I mean about control. Now, the other thing about the Emperor as it relates to the Two of Swords is that this can be, you know, are you able to take control of your life, to be able to, you know, maybe you're on the horns of a dilemma that really is pretty straightforward, but you are still a little bit immersed in fantasy, and so you don't really want to look at the situation as it is. You want to see it the way you want to see it, and that's the big part of the problem. So I guess what I'm trying to get at, Leo, is that perhaps this is more, this isn't really some kind of big dilemma. It's more like, it's not really a problem if you were able to admit what the truth is of the situation. What's coming in are the advice now. This is perfect for you, the King of Wands. This might even be you. And this is about being your own person to the utmost degree. This is the card of, you know, the ultimate self-empowerment of a person, and, you know, taking charge, large and in charge of your life. I always think of Leo as kings and queens because of the royalty angle. And you carry yourself that way, usually. It's possible that you're very vulnerable when it comes to relationships, especially if you have, you know, inner planets in Cancer, which is fair, you know, is pretty likely because it's the sign right next to you. So that can make you much more emotionally needy in some cases. If you know, Mars in Cancer, Venus in Cancer make you more wanting to take care of somebody and attracting somebody who is more domineering, you know. And this can be very interesting, a very interesting dynamic for a Leo woman if she has the moon in a feminine sign and maybe Venus in Cancer, that she could be this tough businesswoman, this whatever, but when she's in relationships, she's very submissive. And that has, you know, it depends on other factors, but that can sometimes work to a person's detriment. Although, you know, having a lot of masculine energy as a woman dealing with another man, with a man, can also sometimes create problems too, where the woman kind of is more powerful. There's not that balance. Because balance is important, you know. When you're submissive, then you're kind of, your passivity creates a certain pattern that can work against you too. It's really cool when each person in the couple kind of alternates, and sometimes they're the dominant ones and sometimes they're more passive. I mean, I think that that can happen and does happen, and it's better than having these very rigid, you know, roles within the relationship. So the King of Wands is you really knowing who you are, you know, outside of a relationship. The Emperor can be this boss who is kind of limited in their thinking of who you are. I see like a lot of artistic influence with the Ace of Cups and the Moon of Cups and the Moon card, and that really counters the Emperor in a lot of ways. Unless it's a facet of you, which it always could be, and that you're taking charge of that area of life. You know, when you have your own business, or when you're an artist, sometimes, especially a healing arts business, it can feel very, I think sometimes hard to navigate, because you don't approach it with the same ideas as maybe somebody who is much more into the profit angle of it. There is that desire to be a healer, to be an inspiration to others, and it's hard to, like, you know, promote oneself sometimes in those situations. And the King of Wands is kind of an entrepreneur and very self-motivated, and so learning how to integrate that aspect into your business and to not apologize for it. Also being, see, because sometimes maybe the Emperor is a little bit too rigid, and the King of Wands to me can be very fluid. I mean, this might even be associated with Sagittarius. I know the Queen of Wands is, and that's a mutable sign. So I see the King of Wands as a I don't want to say a self-made man, but a man, or, you know, person, but somebody who is self-directed, self-actualized. That was the word I was looking for. And they fulfill their dreams because their dreams are coming from a sincere place. They're not, you know, I could see somebody thinking that the King of Wands is on an ego trip sometimes, because Wands energy is very, what do you call it, self-expressive. But actually the balanced version of this, the upright position, is not that way at all. They're not trying to control others. They're not trying to be self-absorbed. They're just trying to share their essence with others. The outcome is the Page of Swords, So this is you being aware of what's going on. So unlike the Moon card, the Page of Swords is gathering information. If you have started a relationship with somebody, you're gathering information. Maybe you're asking around, or you're looking online and seeing what you can find about this person, because there might be something that bothers you that seems like it is shrouded in mystery, you know, with a particular person, and you want to make sure that you are not being tricked or lied to. And part of the thing about this is you don't feel like you have anything to lose, because with the King of Wands, you're very strong as an individual. So you're not just like, oh, I have to have a person in my life. And if this is based on a business that you are trying to get off the ground, your own business or something along those lines, I think that you're going to be researching about things that are connected to it and just gathering information. Okay, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, most of my readings are astrology based, and you can find out more information by clicking the link in the description box. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.